Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Doc Holiday, and here we have Seriosity joining with me. This is my second intro, by the way, because I had both mine and his mics muted before this. So hopefully you are all having a good morning, just like we are here in the DR studio. Yeah, guys, what's up, everyone? We got a lot of great StarCraft coming up for you in just a minute here, as you can see. I do want to say thank you so much, though, to our big balloon donator in the chat. That's really huge. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Who was it? Was it Lindsay?
No, I don't know who this person is. It's
someone gave 100.
Yeah, 100 balloons.
Gruglog. Many thanks, Gruglog.
Look, Scuzzy, look, I know it's 3 p.m., okay, Scuzzy, but I have to say, alright, I just woke up. Alright, not everyone's a boomer like you who goes to bed at 6:30 right when the sun starts to wane, okay? Give me a break. I don't have to get up in the morning to host Kids Bop concerts, you know? Oh, jeez. Actually, though, dude, every Saturday I wake up super late because, like, I don't sleep at all during the week, and then I get to sleep in on Saturday and, like, makes up for it. That's my theory, at least.
I want to do that, but then at 8:30, I'm already awake.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get on into our first series here. Let's see.
Yeah. So we have Dragon against Red Duck and Bull against It's Him. Alright, they're saying my mic is too loud.
Okay, yeah, we'll turn it down a little bit. It's also kind of crackly. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, we'll try that. Alrighty, guys, well, let's go ahead and get these players introduced. In the top left-hand corner, spawning as the orange Protoss, we have Mr. Macroman himself, Dragon.
In the bottom right corner, we have a newcomer to NASL, KMD, also known as Red Duck, who, of course, is Bull White's brother. So we have two brothers in one group. As the blue Terran, I didn't even say.
Dude. Like, what if in the middle of this series, like, one of them just goes AFK for a second, and then all of a sudden the other one just disconnects?
Alright, so Drag, of course, won the last season of NASL, so against a new player, unknown pretty much, he should be a huge favorite. And, oh, we should mention the maps and the banning system. So there are 5 maps in NASL, and each player gets 2 bans until there's 1 map left, and that's the map they play on. So they were both pretty happy to play on Fighting Spirit.
I mean, I gotta say, if there was a map that a bunch of players would probably leave in the map pool, Fighting Spirit's gotta be maybe the #1 on my list. Obviously, CB and stuff like that too. Pretty well expected that we're gonna see maps like this. Do you know what the highest ban rate map was?
I mean, anytime there's a new map, that's going to be the highest ban rate map. Just because people don't want to play it, they're not familiar with it. Although with this new map, Polypoid looks pretty popular already. Seems like a standard macro map. Has enough interesting features that it's not just another Fighting Spirit clone. But I think Match Point is not, I haven't seen it played much.
That's surprising. It's not like Match Point is a new map. Of course, it definitely is more of a unique map, like a 2-player map with, you know, pretty easily split and things like that, and some unique map features. But I would think that a lot of the players would be used to playing it by now. I mean, we had it in the latter season, fairly early on into Starcraft Remastered. It was in the map pool for a lot of tournaments, including like CPL and stuff like that. So I'm a little surprised by people completely avoiding that map, honestly.
Alright, so we had Gaslix expand from Red Duck. He decided to go straight for that command center, skipping the gas. He's gonna delay it, get a bunker to defend from the Dragoons, and wait till he has tanks in siege. Meanwhile, Drag decided to not scout at all with Probe, and he's gonna use this Zealot as his scout. Pretty normal stuff. He feels comfortable enough. He checked the middle, of course, just in case there's some kind of 2 barracks play. But he's just gonna scout with his units and use his probes to mine.
That's the champ move, man. When you're the champ, you gotta check the middle.
Yeah.
Some cheeky up and comer about to just annihilate you with a 2 racks. Nah, not today, dude.
Yeah, and he immediately goes for Nexus, cutting a lot of probes to do this, of course. He only gets 2 Dragoons before his Nexus, and then a Pylon. This is like a very, very fast Nexus, especially considering he made the Zealot, which isn't always made. And now when he gets Terran's base, he's gonna see that it's a gasless expand, and he's gonna feel pretty sad because he's not gonna be able to do anything to punish this. Of course, he's not too far behind, and he could just double expand upon seeing this, but normally you want to scout this as soon as possible, so if you want to go aggressive against this, I don't know, he could throw down a proxy robo if he scouts this immediately, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's regretting his decision not to drone or probe scout here, because, you know, having gone with the Zealot first could have potentially done some pretty annoying damage in that early game and forced a lot of annoying micro out of Red Duck. But as it stands, you know, I mean, really, seriously, when you think about it, how far behind is he really? I mean, it's not really that bad.
Well, this is the kind of thing where, like, if he had scouted this other Dragoon that he made probably wouldn't have made it. He would have just made more probes, because if you look at the worker count, this is a pretty big deficit early on. His Nexus finishes much later than the Terran's command center. Of course, he recovers some of this by forcing repair, but it's not a lot. Oh, and Terran sent another SCV out just to confirm that Protoss expanded and that he's playing standard. Now he's gonna cut a couple corners. After seeing the Nexus, he knows it's not some fast TT timing. First tank is out, siege is almost done, and then once that's done, this Dragoon pressure will be completely nullified.
I don't get why Dragon doesn't just research siege mode on his Dragoons, so that way he can hit the bunker outside of the range of the tank, you know what I mean?
Oh, I forgot to mention this Sim City by Terran is actually really good, so if that Zealot had come here first, it would have to go all the way around this wall, through the mineral line to get to a Marine on the other side. So pretty good by Red Duck, just a precaution, really. Dragon stopped after those 3 Dragoons, it looks like. Got that really fast Nexus, and now he's going up to 4 gateways. Of course, he has no vision of Terran's base, so he doesn't know what he's following up with. This observer will be the first thing that gives him any idea, other than a fast command center, what Terran is doing.
Alrighty, 3 tanks moving forward already. Looks like we're just getting in position to hold the ramp for now, but that is a very large army to get started with here. Now, Marines are popping out here, and we're bringing 2 boys as well with us, so looks like we do have quite an aggressive move coming out of our Terran player. Now, we only have 6 Dragoons on the field, but there are 4 gates in production as well, so there should be a good number of Protoss units to defend from this. The Ob's going to be very helpful as well to see this coming and track where the army is going, so that way we can have our units in position to meet up with the tanks before they siege. And overall, I feel like this is probably a pretty holdable push, so long as Dragon plays this pretty smart, doesn't lose too many of his units before the fight with these mines here.
Yeah, of course it is also cross map, so it takes a little bit longer getting to Protoss's base.
Alright, first tank is already down, and that's really the focal point of this fight here. Oh my gosh!
What a mine!
What a mine! I don't even know if that's good or bad. I mean, because we cleared out a whole lot of Terran, but that was pretty much all the Dragoons there's left here. And now Dragon's just going to be working off of his 4-gate production at this point. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but with 4 gateways and only 1 tank, there's little left in this attack.
Yeah. It definitely accomplished a lot. Just it's hard to say it was a bad mine because it got, you know, 3 goons, but it also cleared out all of the fodder.
Yeah, of course, this attack doesn't have to kill Protoss. He's basically doing it just to do some damage, but he did lose most of his tanks, and now he's gonna lose his last one. He is trading efficiently enough that I think it works out for him. But just like a cross-map attack after 1-Rax.
Ooh,
oh, just getting in. Now this is huge. This is huge. This one tank on the high ground killing all the Dragoons as well.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, the amount of missed shots that the Dragoons had trying to kill that tank. Just like a hit standing right next to the pylon.
Now the real problem for Terran is that he's still only on 2 factories versus a Protoss on 6 gateways. He did kill enough probes that Dragon's economy is not all the way up, but he still has to be careful trying to take his third with minimal units.
Yeah, CC is almost done too, so we're going to be seeing it float to this bottom center basin a little bit here, but there are a lot of Dragoons that are going to be able to just sit up on the high ground and deny this from the tanks for quite a while. And as you can see, the tank count is pretty low still, and we don't really have a large amount of, you know, what do you call filler units like vultures and stuff like that to buffer for them. So, you know, any one small mistake when trying to take this third could end in disaster for KMD.
Of course, this is Fighting Spirit, where you can easily take a third just defending this one bridge with barracks eBay walls and then a couple of depots at your third. But if Protoss is already there, then you're gonna have a tough time trying to take this high ground third.
Oh, Zoe pointing out that our stream is listed in lifestyle other category instead of under StarCraft. I'll go ahead and fix that real quick. But I definitely feel like you have to have a bit of an other type of lifestyle in order to watch Foreign Brewer, you know what I mean?
Oh, this is very unfortunate. This depot placement at the third, it doesn't actually wall.
Yeah, there's
the
a
Dragon
hole
can get up here quickly.
Oh, but the tanks do get in place in time.
Yeah.
Wow.
It could have actually backfired for Dragon though if he went up.
Yeah, and get stuck there. I'm actually surprised at how smooth this went, taking this third though, overall. Like, Dragon definitely had enough units to get up on the top of this third and take control of the high ground. But KMD seemed to just get pretty lucky there with the timing. Things worked out really well for him.
We have Drag taking a fourth in response to Terran's third and taking all the way up to Arbiters. Still only on 6 gateways, so he's not going to go for some kind of bust. He's comfortable taking this into the later game. Terran finally using his scans, seeing what Protoss is up to, sees its Arbiter, he's going to get his own vessels and second armory working on his upgrades, trying to get 2-1 as quickly as possible.
Alright, a nice quick discovery of this top right-hand base. Of course, you know, 3 vultures aren't going to kill it, but it's certainly good to have that knowledge there, and maybe this mine is a little productive. Let's see. Probably hit at least a goon.
Oh, Drag with the ultimate patience, waiting for it. Never mind. The Dragoons trigger the mine first.
It's alright, it's just shields. It was only 1 mine, who cares that?
I'm interested to see if Terran is actually going to go for a dropship, because one of the more common and annoying plays Terran can do against Protoss that takes another main as a base is they'll drop 2 tanks on this high ground and lay mines below the ramp. And with 2 tanks and a bunch of mines, Protoss will always trade inefficiently trying to break it. And it's this kind of thing where a Protoss will do it, will commit a lot to defend, and then be out of position to defend the push. But no dropship yet. Trying to get a vessel to get that energy up. And Dragon just making more Nexuses.
As you do. I heard Nexus is a pretty good unit. I don't know. Personally, I believe that they're kind of overrated, being a Protoss unit at all, and that being the worst race. But, you know, that's just me.
I mean, let's think about it. They cost 400. They don't float, right?
Yeah, they don't heal after they get hit on their actual damage. You know, I mean, like, And what do they make? They make probes. But I guess that's pretty good, because I hear that's an S tier unit.
I think I'll take the one that lifts and makes FCVs. Or maybe even the one that costs 300 and makes literally everything. Alright, we're working on a pretty healthy tank count. Of course, we're nowhere near max, so the push is not going to come. And in this time, Drag can just freely expand, basically. Add all the gateways he wants, all the nexuses, and prepare for the one big fight. The one fight that determines the game, basically. But already Drag is in a comfortable position. You, as Protoss, when you're up 2 bases on Terran and critically have another main where you can start adding that second gateway farm, you're in an ideal position to defend the push.
So, I've been told this before, but is this true? So is it true that Nexuses are the most efficient mining building out of the 3?
I think something to do with the collision of the workers. Because Zerg needs mineral boosting, right? I've never heard of Proto. Oh, what a mine!
Wow.
Another mine.
3 goons.
Alright. Terran unsieged for this first attack, and
Oh man, these storms are huge. It's hitting like the entire Terran army. Zealot's getting all over the tanks, doing tons of damage. Oh my god. Wow. Where did KMD's army go? Do you guys see it?
Critically, he didn't wait for +2. +2 just finished. And he got caught off guard, basically. Half his tanks were on siege. He had no mines in front of them. Drag was able to get right on top of his tanks. Even without stasis, the storms were enough to clean up the army. And if you looked at the supply, it was 200 versus 150, and Drag stayed at the same supply and Terran plummeted.
I feel like Dragon just like box clicked the Terran army and then hit his delete button. And we're just gone. That was like one of the fastest, cleanest fights I think we've seen all season so far.
Yeah, that was pretty decisive from Drag. It's taking yet another base. Of course, this is what you do when you win a fight. You just expand, and you don't really have to kill the Terran when they're boxed in on 3 bases.
Dragon snipes a vessel. The only one with the army currently, too. That's pretty nice. Now it's gonna be impossible for him to fight anything ever.
We have a bunch of zealots. Is this a recall? No, there's no energy for recall. Of course, Terran isn't out of this yet. They still have the stronger army, and if Red Duck can get to a place where he's at 200, pushing and killing bases, he can make a comeback. But the longer it takes for him to get there, the bigger Dragon's advantage is. Dragon is going to end up with a monumental bank just because he's max and can't actually spend it.
What would his bank be a monument to?
Careful there. Hold on.
Oh man, Dragon's so good, dude. It just like when I watch him play, like you can just. Oh, we can't do it. I thought we could watch his thing, but like he's always just doing things with his units. He's got like 5 dragoons, in, like 2 groups, always clearing out mines. You know, keeping an eye on.
This is a good showing for like low APM, because based on the APM, you'd say, "Oh, Drag isn't doing anything," but he's adding more bases, taking the entire map. He already added what 30 gateways, has 2 upgrades going, positioning his army. Like he's doing a lot. Dragging mines into zealots. He's doing a lot with very little APM.
Yeah. There's a lot of like really high level players that really show off the fact that you don't need to have, you know, 500 APM in order to play Starcraft Brood War reasonably efficiently. Now, when we're talking like ASL level, maybe, you know, you really do. But when we're talking like foreigner level, like some of the better foreigners really don't have like much more than, you know, 180, 200 APM.
All right, here we go. Big fight part
dude.
2.
These team fights by Dragon, like the storms are just placed so well. Just look at this. What a great little stasis too. Like everything he's doing in these fights, just engaging super decisively and playing it very well.
Yeah, of course, Protoss is never supposed to win this fight. You're only really wanting to trade, and then you spend your bag to remax as quickly as possible, knowing that Terran can't match you. And if you look at Drag's money, it went down, and he's using all his gateways to macro out. Has a bunch of units already in the top right and top left bases. At this point, Red Duck is going to be on one base pretty soon, so this is a do or die attack.
This is something that really triggers me about a lot of high-level Protoss players in general, though. They just let certain units just chill. Like, we have 2 Arbiters dying for literally nothing. Shuttles here, just hanging out. Why don't we just save these poor boys? They're just abandoned.
They're left behind on hockeys usually, and then, I don't know, you're somewhere else.
Could you imagine being those Arbiters, though? They're like, alright, it's time to go in! It's the big fight! Everyone's dead, and you're just like, wait! Can we leave? You know, the radio's silent. No. Come on, please, can we leave? I'm being shot here! And then just, you know, and that's the end of your story. You just got forgotten, left behind, killed by a single Goliath. Alright, here we go.
Terran's gonna try to take this 4th base, but Drag already here. Again, Terran caught off guard, and Siege is late, not using his entire army in this fight.
Yeah. Got a nice EMP off, but EMP doesn't matter too much when you only got like 5-6 tanks in the fight versus pretty much max Protoss army.
Yeah, this is a lot of Dragoons. There's not even any Zealots, but when there's this few tanks, this army composition is good.
It's so funny though. When you watch this type of, you know, TVP, I just feel like I'm watching like this guy just pull his wallet out and start beating someone to death with it. Cause it's not like, you know, even army versus even army. We're just throwing all of our money over and over and over into this Terran army and just wearing them down. Alrighty, man. Well, that was a very clean, very well played game by Dragon. Really showing off why he is the current sitting NASL champ.
Yeah, held that attack. Not the cleanest of holds, but had that really faster Nexus and just went into a macro game where he was comfortable and won the fights pretty decisively.
Alright, man. Well, I feel like Dragon is truly, like, probably the best player as far as Protosses go to really learn how to play the game correctly. We have a lot of other extremely high level, you know, Protoss players in the scene and stuff like that, but Dragon is always just super methodical, super clean, super professional, like just looks really, really good, very, like that's the style that I think you want to replicate when you're trying to learn the game.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna try to emulate someone, you don't want to do it if it's someone like Bonif, where they gain a lot of advantages and cut a lot of corners you can't cut.
Yeah. Imagine trying to learn like, alright, so I just take this one Reaver and kill all his workers? That's all I gotta do, right? And then you should imagine trying to learn how to play like that. It'd be so ridiculous.
Or even like TT1, where, okay, we're gonna have perfect probe cycles and we're gonna send them to mine immediately. We're gonna have 458 PM all game long. Not really something you can expect a new player to do. Alright, now we
guys.
match everyone's waiting for.
Here we go. In the top right hand corner. Spawning as the crowd favorite, of course. We have the Red Terran. It's him, aka Surfer for Life.
And in the bottom left corner, we have a newcomer who's well known in the North American scene as the Brown Protoss Boa White. Of course, there was some drama this week trying to get the games played because Surfer for Life never checked Discord, like at all.
And of course he didn't.
they wanted to pre-play the group yesterday because Red Duck couldn't be there today. And then I don't even know what happened. None of the games were played yesterday, but had they been played, Surfer for Life would have just shown up and realized he had been walked over.
That's too funny, man. I feel like Surfer for Life was just down at the beach eating a bean burrito, watching the sunrise after catching some sick waves, bro. Not gonna lie, that's a good life, man. I used to like go down to Pacific on the weekends and surf in the morning. It's awesome.
Alright, so what map actually is this? Is this Polyport? This is one of the new time out. So if you look at the, how do you even reveal the map?
Oh, I showed you. I showed him. You gotta shake the hands, man.
Yeah. So this map has a normal natural, then it has this high ground mineral base. Only 6 patches, but if you can secure this area, it's pretty easy to hold the 3 bases. Of course, if you're horizontal from your opponent, this base is a lot harder to defend. Then you have kind of like the normal thirds where they have a gas on high ground with 2 ramps leading to them. So a little bit harder than a map like Sylphid to defend, but pretty easy nonetheless.
Dude,
I think it's a cool map.
I feel like when you're explaining the map like one of those Price is Right chicks, you're just like explaining the map features and I'm just like highlighting them with my box, and here it is. I'm just like in my little bikini. Here's the ramp that he's talking about, guys. There's the gas. Dude, speaking of bikinis, have you heard about 80s Mullet's new project?
No, what is it?
All right, so 80s Mullet's trying to crowdfund a Brood War calendar, and he's gonna get for every month like a Brood War player that we know, and get like a sexy drawing done of them and put it in together as a calendar.
Well, good for 80s.
I don't know how well it's gonna work out. He needs 12 sexy drawings of current Brood War players, so I don't know. It's gonna be pretty ridiculous.
Alright, so Ball with a very fast reaction to that Marine shooting. He immediately pulled the pawn back.
Yeah, look at that. He didn't even lose all of his shields.
Yeah, he sees 3 Marines. It's not really a tell. You don't really know if Terran's gonna go for an FD based on just 3 Marines. He didn't go for the Zealot, so he actually did go for a Pro Scout. I mean, he didn't correctly scout him with the Zealot, so he also went for a Pro Scout. And he's gonna hit this timing where you have 1 Dragoon and 1 Zealot, and this can easily beat 3, even 4 Marines, but Surfer like playing safe, getting that bunker up, and because it was cross map, these units take a lot longer to get here, and he's safe. It's pretty much an ideal opening in his turn. You can get away with getting that command center on the low ground and not having to defend with a tank.
In the meantime, Surfer gets his probe in no problem. Immediately gets to see that the exact timing of the Nexus. Looks like he's going to get blown up eventually here. But he got most of the information that he wanted to begin with. He saw the Dragoon range upgrading and everything like that as well. So he's got pretty much everything. Robo goes round right after the SCV dies, which was obviously good timing for Bo to get it down now that his opponent has to sacrifice another unit to confirm that. We have the first Vulture coming across the map now, and it looks like... Okay, no, we do have another Dragoon here. I was going to say, it looks like he might just sneak past. Oh,
yeah, so this...
Oh! Oh! Ooh, that's nice. We get a nice little free mine hit on him, too.
Yeah, so this Vulture, you can't really... Well, I didn't see it come out, but there's no way you can deny production vision.
Oh my god! Wow.
This Vulture is basically just to lay mines to give you a little bit of map control, but you really needed 2 Vultures to get out, so you can lay mines in front and then lay mines at the probable of their locations.
I mean, he did just get a Dragoon for it, though, which is not bad.
Yeah, but now these Dragoons are at the front, harassing the bunker, and he really should have made a tank, not 3 Vultures. With 2 Vultures, you get them out on the map, have some kind of map control, and then you get the 1 tank to push these Dragoons back. And the goal is basically you get to, ideally, have... could have been... You want to ideally push these Dragoons back so that they eat the mines you lay it out on the map. This is a lot of damage. Like, he's not really killing anything, but just being annoying with the Dragoons on the bunker. This all happens because of the late tank.
We got our little Jamaican vulture here. Looking fly as fuck.
Here's the tank. The tank basically ends the attack from Protoss. I like the hidden vulture at the probable third from Boa, so that if he's going to take it, it's going to be later than he wants. Of course, Boa doesn't want to take it there. He's going to go Reaver. And he's hiding the tech at the net, which is pretty good because you're not normally going to scan the net.
Alright, a little bit of a bold move here. I feel like we're, you know, even, especially for going for vultures, we're really throwing them away a lot. Like, I get the idea here, he wanted to get the army with the mines or whatever, but certainly not being super productive. We got a vulture, or sorry, a zealot for this, and wasted all of our mines.
Here's the first observer coming across the map. He's gonna. What happened?
It's just they're making fun of your microphone because you sound like a robot. And Bonham said Sari can't pass captures. That's too funny.
Alright, let me reset Discord. I'll be back.
It's too funny, dude, Bonnet. Oh man. Alrighty, guys. Well, in the meantime, looks like we got our shuttle on the way. Reaver should be coming out here in just a little bit. It's gonna be a pretty good day to be a Reaver, I feel like. I don't know, it's just my prediction, but I don't think that Surfer for Life is going to have particularly strong Reaver defense. Probably because he generally just tries to go kill people with pretty ridiculous strategies. I mean, we've seen a lot of his success be off of the back of like unexpected, like really powerful bio pushes and stuff like that. I'm not sure how prepared he's going to be for a micro Reaver, you know, blowing up all his SCVs. As you can see, his micro has been, at least in the beginning of this game, not particularly spectacular. It hasn't been terrible or anything like that, but his builds haven't seemed to be like super clean or anything like that. We don't really have any kind of Reaver defense set up at all as well, so it's going to be highly unlikely that he has units in position to stop any kind of really catastrophic scarabs from coming in and just blowing everything up. But here we go. It's about time. We're going to have to go ahead and see how this goes. Mr. Reaver,
alright, I'm back. Along. How's the voice?
So much better now. You can pass a capture, bro. Oh
he's
my
the
God.
first Reaver coming in. No defenses at this base.
I said this, like, I don't know if you're listening to me cast it all while you were gone, but I was like, I don't think he's going to have good Reaver defense. I think this is going to be terrible. Wow, the Reaver Scarabs have dudded out really hard, though. I mean, we have tons of stacked SCVs. What is going on? Are you seeing this? That's insane.
Somehow, no SCVs died.
Yeah, dude, Boa got robbed, bro. That was like 30 dead SCVs had justice been done here. Oh, here it comes again, though, and they're all stacked again. Oh! Okay, there we go. That's a pretty good shot. Even still, though, that was pretty sad in comparison to what could have been.
Just forcing the SCV pulls is pretty good, but of course you do want to kill some. I think the last Scarab got like 7, which is value enough for the Reaver, and now he has this Reaver he can use to defend from what looks like it's going to be a timing attack.
Yeah, we got double shuttles. And where's Surfer's army? I mean, apparently, I mean, it's not that big. Like, I'm a little worried. Like, look at this big old army from our Protoss player. We have double shuttle, which is going to allow us to do things like shuttle bombing tanks and all that. And these 2 shuttles are coming over here to just continue to harassment.
He does have to be careful. There's a bunch of mines laid in the main, and this is a pretty low HP shuttle. Surfer for Life added a 3rd add-on because of his opening, I'm pretty sure. He was very low on tanks, produced only vultures for a while, so now he needs to start building up that tank count. You can't really push without a healthy tank count. Ball, meanwhile, has his 6 gaze ways up. He's got a third. He's taking up. All of this is pretty normal, but he does also have 2 Reavers and 2 shuttles.
Alrighty, big engagement about to get started here in the middle. Zealots in front, just like you want. We've got Reavers being dropped on top of tanks here. The splash damage is going to be incredible. The tank's just getting absolutely vaporized by these Reavers all over them. Holy crap, we basically just lost like, what, like 5 Zealots or something? That was ridiculous.
That shows you the power of catching your opponent off guard, because there were a lot of tanks, but absolutely no support. And just with these 2 shuttles being able to get on top of all the tanks, using their own splash against themselves, Bo was able to win that very cleanly. I don't think he lost a single Dragoon.
Yeah. No, I certainly don't think he did at all. We didn't see any blue on the map. And now we're crushing the third. We're crushing the army. About to just walk in to this natural expansion like the door is open. This is some almost too much patience, I feel like. Now that the 2 tanks are on the high ground, the opportunity to kill his natural is gone. But I guess, you know, Boa didn't necessarily have the knowledge that we do about, like, kind of the state of the natural at that point. But I mean, even with tanks on the high ground, we've got so many zealots in these shuttles, man. We could just drop all over them, no problem. There's no units there to defend them.
Yeah, of course, he doesn't want to overcommit here. He also doesn't want to leave Dragoons on hold position in range of tanks. But he's basically in such a good position, he could do whatever he wants. He's getting Arbiters.
Oh my gosh, the mines are all over the tanks! Oh man, and that's why you want to clear out the mines if you're going to push into a certain area.
This is particularly bad for Surfer because it's not like his build was tailored to some kind of endgame plan. This was a timing attack that failed. He doesn't have upgrades on the way. He doesn't have more tech on the way. He's basically stuck on factory units without upgrades against Protoss that's getting Arbiters and upgrades and expanding all over the map.
Boa trying to be VIP in Surfer for Life's chat here with all the donations at the natural, though. There's a lot of Dragoons to just throw away for nothing. Is Boa Surfer for Life simp confirmed?
This is pretty interesting because, well, let's assume Boa wins. I have no idea what Boa's level actually is based on just this game alone,
yeah.
Right?
That's so true.
Because obviously he wins. Yeah, okay, he's a good player, but is he good enough to be dragged? Is he favored? Or is he... Like, what kind of level are we talking about? We don't know.
I think one of the funniest things about Surfer for Life is he's still able to beat, like, really high-level players. Just because he plays, like, completely different than anybody else.
Yeah, he plays a style that's comfortable for him and unfamiliar to his opponents, but in this game his build was just not... It was like 80% of a build that someone's familiar with, which means it's 100% not good.
Yeah. It's hilarious because, yeah, like his games sometimes go like this, where it's just like there was no hope from the beginning. And then sometimes he like just mauls people like Jaehyun and stuff that we, you know, would expect to not even, you know, he would not even come close to normally. But no, he does, and you know that's one of the strengths of just kind of playing the way you want to play, and also one of its weaknesses. But you know, he's dangerous and it kills a lot of players. So we would expect to be like all the way towards the end of the bracket. So
yeah, I mean he wouldn't be here otherwise. He has a lot of variance in his play. I was looking at his ladder account and I saw just before the tournament, like the round of 16 started, he had 300 games and he was 2,000, right? I'm like, oh, All right, pretty good, pretty good. But then I saw he was 100 games later. He was 1600. So it's just that kind of. That's the kind of variance we're talking about.
I almost hate to be like the emotional ups and downs of playing StarCraft for Surfer must be just mind-boggling.
All right, we have an arbiter somewhere on the map. Where is it? Where is it? I saw it at 12 o'clock briefly. Now it's like, oh,
It's in the middle of the map.
Middle of the map. This looks like it's a recall. We have a bunch of dragoons and zealots balling up here. Nope, just an attack.
Well, all the tanks are alone again.
Yeah, but why are they on
my
the
gosh.
ground? We would need them on this high ground to defend the space.
Oh no, a mine killed the bear! Dude, that
Force a lift and another kill on this base.
that mine drag almost got all those SUVs. Meanwhile, Surfer's getting some extreme value. The bottom center of the map. Really, it's all worth it. There's a fight going on here, but why micro versus that? Let's be real. This is where the real fight is. It's like that kicks clip, dude.
Which one? Which one? This one?
Where he's like microing 2 vultures and he's got like 1.5k in the bank. Okay. Well, certainly well played by Polar players. It's too hard to say it without laughing. Anyways, good job to everybody. Bo is moving on. I can't believe I looked down there and the fucking the vultures like patrol microing versus probes during the literal end of the game. Oh, that's too good, man. Oh god, I have to say, dude, I love Server Fry, man. Every time he comes out and plays in a tournament, it's like so much fun to watch his games. Oh god.
Pretty entertaining games. Fortunately, we didn't see any of the magic from the qualifiers, like that game where he went bio against Terran or his A-Rax against Jaeyoon.
I remember at the LA land, he was doing like 5 racks 1 base and just like killing everybody with it. Oh my god. It's too good.
That's the kind of stuff we need to see.
Yeah, man. Like, why don't more Terrans do this ridiculous crap? Like, man, those builds are so strong. Cause like no one, it's like one of those builds. It's like it's so stupid it just might work, and it definitely just does.
All right, give me a sec. We're gonna go into Dragon against Boa. This is of course gonna be the winners match. Out of this group, we're gonna advance 2 players, which will be no. Out of every group, 2 players are gonna advance, and it's gonna leave us with 8, and then we can start the elimination bracket. Alright, ready when you are.
Sweet, let's do this. I have to say though, I'm a little concerned with how Zoe is like advocating for violence against animals in the chat, trying to get them to storm the bear. That's pretty messed up, dude.
I'm always curious why they add these little things to the maps.
The little critters.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes they actually do get in the way. Like you want to take your third, and there's 8 bears there, and you gotta kill them all with your probe. It's better than a mine.
Are we going faster than? Yeah, we're on 2x. All right, guys, let's go ahead and introduce your players real quick. In the top left-hand corner, spawning as the brown Protoss, we have Boa.
And in the bottom left corner, as a yellow Zerg, we have Dragon Naz. Of course, Dragon doesn't play Protoss against Protoss. He race picks his. I don't know. I guess he just likes them more. He plays Zerg against Protoss, and he's done this for years. Feels pretty comfortable with it. Looks like Boa's gonna make a pylon as that and leave the probe there. This will indicate that he's gonna go for a 9 or 10 gate. And gonna look to put on the pressure immediately. It's like, yep, it's a 9 gate and drag, overpulling, and he's gonna get the first scalp. So this is already pretty good for Zerg. He's gonna see the gateway with his Overlord and will be able to respond how he feels comfortable. He can either make 2 lings and then drones and then more lings, or just 6 lings off the bat. Trying to keep the Protoss back in his base, not have to worry about Zealots hitting his drones if you just make this lings off the bat.
I was really liking when we get to see Dragon play Zerg. He plays Zerg pretty much just like he plays Protoss, man. He's like super conservative. He just macros really hard. He doesn't do anything crazy fancy. He'll play, you know, of course he'll play good builds. Like when 973 was like ultra popular, he was doing that and stuff like that. But overall, he's just quite the macro player, and I really like just seeing the big Sauron Zerg. You know, that's like my favorite ZVP style that I like to watch.
Alright, so Drag, this is actually pretty interesting. He's gonna take another natural as his third, and well, this probe was being annoying at his normal base, so he just ignored it and took this other far net as his third.
Yeah, this is pretty risky versus gate first. But you know, his opponent is not necessarily aware that this is the case. Although he should go looking for it. The Zealot is going to want to come over here and still do damage early. So it's kind of like, do you try to do damage at the third and get no drone damage or anything like that done? Or
no, versus 6 lings, well, for 6 lings you can't really afford to put on that much pressure, but Drag only made 2, right? And he confirmed with his Zealots now. These 2 Zealots can comfortably move across the map, knowing that Dragon's going to have link speed or a lot of links to deal with this. The Overlord did see the 2 Zealots move out, so Dragon's only making links now. Against 2 Zealots, you want 4 links per Zealot, 8 links to defend. And that's if they're slow links. If they're speed links, you can cut a couple corners, get a few less links, and you're fine.
This is so annoying. I hate this spot.
Oh, that left Zealot actually had 3 links hitting it.
Yeah, that's really good. Lots more efficiency. Wow, those get taken out with almost nothing, and Dragon does not get punished for quite what was, you know, quite a greedy opener.
Right, so now we actually have a lot of links left over, and
yeah, the Forge
gonna be able to.
Or we're just finished up here, so Cannon now just getting started. Dragon could bust through here potentially.
Yeah, he's gotta snipe that probe at the top of the gateway.
Second probe getting in position though. Boa not trying to take any chances here.
And behind us, Drag actually went for Lair first. That's how comfortable he is with the opening. That he's not even gonna get speed. He's just gonna go immediately for Lair, then get speed and play it like if it was a Forge opening. The only difference here is Drag's tech is actually ahead of Boa's. So really good position for Zerg when you can get your Lair started before their Cybernetics core.
Ooh, alright. 4 Zealots now moving out here. This is a pretty threatening force, although we still have conserved so many of the Zerglings. It's not going to be a very much of an investment to continue to be able to defend this, especially if Dragon's able to out-micro the Zealots on their way to the base here. So this is quite nice, actually. We already got half the shields, or all the shields off of one of the zealots, and Dragon is continuing to stall as the units fight back and forth in the middle of the map. And this move out's really doomed at this point already.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a dance because Protoss doesn't really want to attack. They just want to force links, but they also do need to confirm what Zerg is doing. So he's a little bit suspicious because he hasn't seen link speed, which would indicate normally 3-hatch Hydra, but that's not what Drag's doing. Drag went for layer.
Ooh.
And
Dragon hasn't kept an eye on the zealots with his lings here now, so they're gonna get into this natural pretty freely. There is a ton of lings here though, so this will eventually get cleaned up here, but the efficiency from behind the mineral line could be kind of an annoying to contend with for sure.
yeah, this is where you send one Zealot to check for the third and harass there while Zerg is occupied here. Forcing a Sunken is actually pretty huge. Zerg really does not want to waste a drone here.
Well, especially since he invested in so many Zerglings as well. And look at this, now we just repositioned out of the way of the Sunken again. Alrighty, well the Lings have decided to pick the fight here. And this has been pretty nicely done so far. The Zealots holding just a parallel line of Zerglings off to them, so pretty efficient overall. Sunken getting a good number of hits in here. But man,
alright, so this is the key. He actually needed to do this a lot earlier. He's gonna confirm the tech. This is what he needed to do more than do damage. Basically, you just want to force links and see what Zerg's up to. So now he sees a Spire. Of course, this doesn't mean Muta. This is just a normal Spire when he's gonna go skirt to defend from the Corsair. But job well done by Boa. A ton of damage with that 5 Zealot move out.
yeah, got all the Lings essentially, forced the Sunken, got, what was it, 2 or 3 drones as well. I mean, you can see how delayed the macro hatcheries are as well. Oh my god, there's a Zealot here at the third.
This is disastrous.
Oh my gosh,
This is a drone
immediately gets a drone.
Yeah, and forcing this full drone pull is like even more damage than killing a drone. Drag trying to set up the 3 links so that they can actually flank the Zealot.
DT on the field as well. Have the Scourge been taken out? Oh no, the Scourge is in the middle of the map, so... What happened to the Sair?
It's at the Nexus. Of course, you don't want to move out with only 1 or 2 Sairs. They'll just get instantly sniped by the Scourge. This DT is going to be huge. If you remember in the qualifiers, he won basically 2 games with 1 DT just getting in and ravaging the drone lines.
Yeah, we do have a Sunken this time. We have Overlords in place though, so I don't think that it's going to be able to get in. It was very close though. I really like the idea here behind this move out. There was no ground defenses here at the third at all when he decided to move out, you know, and just an extremely populated and open mineral line. So I overall really do like the idea of just trying to poke in with a DT and get like 5-6 kills, you know, before he goes down. But it looks like the DT plan currently is not going to work out.
Yeah, even got a second DT here. He does have a fast robotics to follow us up, so being able to keep these DTs alive is going to be key because he could use them for the drop. He wasn't able to use them at the front effectively, but now he can drop them in the main or at the fourth.
And you are right, man. DTs have been seriously like the bane of all our Zerg's existences so far this season. I mean, we've seen so many DTs get into mineral lines and killing the entire mineral line, even getting tech buildings afterwards and stuff like that, as they just completely devastate any hope for our Zerg players. Like, it's insane how much value they've gotten this season. So if we see another NASL3 DT get in here, I have very big concerns for Dragon's ability to win this game.
Alright, so we have a lane critically positioned on the shuttle's path, and he sees it.
Yep. We see the Ling getting repositioned via patrol, so that
We
should
have-
be pretty obvious.
Yeah, we have the Earth
Oh, drop him! Oh, one gets out. I actually don't know if Dragon knows that got out.
But he knows.
But we got, let's see, 2 colonies in the main coming. But all the overlords go down super fast. Ooh, big zealot attack getting ramped up here to go to bottom right, it looks like, as well. Man, all the Scourge getting deleted. We do have a Sunken and a Spore, so that is going to deal with that. But, wow. That was some really big efficiency on the part of the Corsairs, getting tons of Overlord kills and Scourge, essentially for the cost of the shuttle here. And, I mean, I didn't see how many drone kills he got, but I think he probably got like 2 or 3. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Drag actually just droned even more. He's been droning all game, and doesn't have that many defenses. If you look, how many zealots does Boa have? He has like 13 zealots. Bottom left has 1 sunken and no units.
Is that good?
No, it's not good. I mean, it's good if they don't attack there. We were at 7 Corsairs, but I think 2 just lost their lives to Scourge. But even with 5, you can still use them on the map to be annoying. Clear paths for shuttles. Kill Overlord so Zerg doesn't see where you're up to. We have a lot of Zealots moving out. We have 2 Reavers in the back and a shuttle in production.
Drag is slowly starting to add on more and more Hydralisks here. He's got... I mean, this is so absurd. What did I say? He just plays crazy. Like, he added on 2 macro hatcheries to his 4th base before he produced any units, pretty much. Like, any ground units at all.
We still have these Corsairs alive, which is key, because otherwise this shuttle would be unprotected. And we have Boa moving out with a ton of Zealots and 2 Reavers.
Ooh, the Sarah's just walking right into the Hydras, though. But we do have the Reavers getting dropped off now. And these Hydras are very clumped up here. One goes down immediately, but the other, you know, the 2 Scarabs, definitely worth it. Oh my gosh, though. Oh, okay. Well, they just barely did enough damage, I think, these Reavers here, because, man, did they get picked off really quickly.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I think either way he was going to get picked off, because this Hydra flank came like literally a couple seconds after all the Reavers had died.
Dude, did you see how far those Zealots had to run to get away from those Hydras? But they still just took all that damage. It was like a maze of Hydralisks that they had to negotiate, and they still got out.
Alright, this is pretty scary now, because Boa doesn't have Reavers or Storms, so he has no way to deal with Mass Hydra. He doesn't have any splash. Of course, in small fights, the Zealots do really well, but once the Hydra number gets up into 2 and 3 control groups, no amount of Zealots can trade efficiently against them.
Yeah, and we're on. Let's be clear. We're on 8 hatcheries right now.
Yeah, we're on 8 hatcheries, getting 3 evolution chambers and a Queen's Nest. This is the kind of stuff you can do when you can get away with getting 50 drones and 4 bases. He did lose a couple of that DT, but that was literally the only damage he took all game.
Oh my god. And the Reaver, oh my, is the Reaver, I was gonna say, if you could get a shot off into this big chunk of Hydras, maybe there's a chance that he holds for a little while longer, but the Reaver gets picked off fairly quickly, doesn't do very much at all, and as I said, man, Dragon just going ham with the macro as he do, and just blowing his opponent up.
Yeah, tons of drones, and then of course tons of Hydras.
It's actually absurd. Like, Dragon's at that point where it doesn't matter how many Hydras he loses, because regardless, there's still going to be no way for the production to keep up with the Zerg.
This is just mass Hydras. He is also tagging up behind us, so he has to follow up. Lurker's on the way too, morphing the eggs right in Protoss's face, so he knows how fucked he is. How many Reavers have died shooting 1 or maybe 2 Scarabs?
I know, it's sad. I think that was the 5th Reaver or 6th Reaver that we've seen. Oh boy. Well, it certainly could have gone better for Boa, but Dragon playing a pretty ridiculously greedy game here gets paid off at the end with just a ridiculous Hydra swell.
Yeah, now the format is they both ban until 1 map, so we saw that again they ended up playing on Fighting Spirit. And now the loser picks, so it's Bo's choice for the map.
Ooh, I like this pick. This is gonna be fun. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to just another game here now between Dragon and Boa. Bottom left-hand corner, spawning as the Red Zerg, we have Mr. Macroman himself playing his off race. We have Dragon.
And in the top right corner, we have the brown Protoss, Boa, white. Of course, this is the map where Boa won the qualifiers, so I think that's why he's comfortable playing on this map. He beat two notable Zergs, Crossy and Kaido, on this map. Of course, he did gain a huge advantage in both those games with that one GT getting in, and he got like 10, 11, 12 drone kills, but I can see why Boa would play this map. It's not a terrible map PvZ. Of course, you do have the mineral-only third, which is not something that's enjoyable in PvZ, but a map that doesn't have that many bases, that's easy to split late if it goes late game. Overall, I think it's a pretty balanced map.
Yeah. If he stalls it out, he's at a really great, really good position. You know, once you get on 4 bases as Protoss here, Zerg has a really, really hard time to kind of just overcome the amount of economy that you're able to get, because there just isn't those bases that you would normally want to take to be able to out-econ the Protoss player. Then you're contending the 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock center bases, and those are like if you get on 5 bases as Protoss, it's over. So Zerg has to hold both of them.
Yeah. I do like this map has a very clear mid game where you have these two high grounds at the mirror onlys, right? So it's just gonna be a fight on one of those high grounds. It's gonna be Zerg's high ground and Protoss's high ground, and that fight usually determines the game. And if it ends in a stalemate, then we go into the late game where we have a more passive stale game, and it's just Protoss trying to split the map and Zerg trying to take 6 to 4 bases. Should mention that another interesting strategy on this map is drop, because these mains are massive and it's hard to have vision over them.
Yep, the natural is also very vulnerable to things like Muta as well. You can occasionally will even see like Hydra Bust, as the arc that the Hydras can get here out front of the natural is very, very large as well. So there's a lot of diverse strategies that can play out on this map, and I don't know, I just generally really enjoy watching Matchpoint. I hate playing on it though, but definitely a lot of fun to watch other people play on it.
We had Boa go for the Forge Expand, and it's pretty normal on this map because Gateway Expand isn't viable when the rush distance is this large. You do see a lot of Nexus first on this map for that very reason. But looks like we're just gonna go into a normal game. Drag taking the mineral only third. I mean the mineral only as his third instead of the far corner base. If you do look, the corner base has 2 more mineral patches, but of course it's so much farther. Hard to defend it via ground units. Like, imagine that Zealot attack that comes around 7 minutes. How are you going to defend the top left base if you're using Hydras? To get from your net to that base is impossible.
I do actually like Hydra first strategies a lot on this map though, because of the way that the third doesn't have the natural. Like, you don't really need that gas at the third, so I feel like the economy is still pretty solid. And I do like seeing pressure at the Protoss natural early on.
Yeah. Looks like Drag went lair first, of course. If you've played Drag or you know his style, he just does the same thing every game. Doesn't really catch you off guard, but he just does it really well, and it's on you to beat him. Overlord at the front that sees any kind of move out, and then Overlord in the main to confirm the tech, and he sees that it's going to be a Stargate. This is pretty normal. He saw that one Zealot move out, so he responds, he makes 8-lings. And this is key. You do actually want to make 8-lings, even against just the one Zealot, because if the Zealot hits your third, right? And you send, let's say you have 4 lanes, you send them there, and then this other zealot comes to your net, and what do you have? Only drums? That's an unfavorable position. So you make 8 lanes and you split them off like this, where you put 4 at your third and 4 at your net, and you can defend both locations at once.
Ooh.
Of course, like I said, Drag doesn't do that at all. He just has all 8
I like how you were like, this is perfect. Drag playing this out just like a pro would. He gets the 8 lings and then you can split it. Nah, never mind. We're just gonna lose the drone and yeah.
Got mine from her third.
Yeah. He heard the cast and he was like, you know what? Fuck Sari. I don't care if this is gonna hurt me. Oh my god! Another drone loss. Why? He knew that was there. Oh my god! And now the Zealot gets into the natural expansion. Dragon, please.
Right, so making the same error how many times?
This is a pro game move.
Of course, Drag's build wasn't all the way standard. He did go lair first, but this is actually a build where you go lair, but you don't get the Spire. You only use lair for basically Overlord speed, slightly faster, and you skip the Spire to get the faster 4th and 5th hatch, and then you just play it out as normal without a Spire. And it does catch some Protoss off guard. For example, lack of a Spire means you have a faster Hydra timing, and if Protoss is going to go for a lot of +1 Corsairs, then it doesn't really make sense, because you don't need a lot of Stairs if there's no Scourge or the threat of mutas.
It is also funny too, because a lot of times Protoss will go for like a very heavy Zealot army and then like walk over to your base and find, oh, you've got Lurkers already. And it's just like, well, my army in mid-game is completely useless. So I guess I can't do anything now. Wow, what do you think has triggered the production of this many cannons at the natural?
Alright, so I think Ball just misread the build, because what Dragon is doing is not a bus. This is just a macro build without a Spire. I think he got into the main, saw no Spire, and he's overreacting to what he saw.
Yeah, 6 cannons, man. That's insane.
Yeah, Dragon doesn't even have Hydra speed. If Boa saw this, he wouldn't be making this many cannons. Look at these slow Hydras. What are they going to do? He doesn't have Hydra speed, he doesn't have Overlord speed, so with 1 DT he can hold off 40 Hydras. Has been pretty annoying with these Corsairs. If we look and count their kills, where are they? They're up to 4 Overlord kills. With only 3 Corsairs, that's pretty valuable. This TT that was able to kill a ton of drones in previous games wasn't able to do much. You do want to send this to deny a 4th, which Drag is taking, like, hoping that they're there, right? He's not gonna. This is a prayer of a hatch, because if there's 1 DT, you can't really defend that base.
Yeah. Alrighty, Overlord's got Overlord speed as well now, so there's no way that this is going to finish up here. Bo was very obviously trying to zone out any kind of, Overlords, so they can't come over here and, stop this from, or allow this to get up. DT is now on the way. Boa's made sure that there's no Overlords there, but there are Overlords now coming with a small contingent of Hydralisks, and let's see, how healthy are our Stairs? Pretty weak now, so I don't think that this is going to get denied. My oh my. Are High Templars thicker than Zealots?
It looks like they are, because they're gonna.
Yeah, they have to go around.
For a roundabout path.
What is going on? These Templar, they can't get out.
Alright, there we go. We just barely buttered up that one enough.
Just 4 Templar making their way onto the map by themselves.
This kind of attack is actually pretty risky. How many Zealots do we have? We have. Okay, we have a
like
few more.
7 or 8.
Yeah, these are the kind of attacks that are pretty risky, because your storms really do have to hit. I do like this 1 DT coming into the from the other angle, where Zerg is less likely to expect you.
Here we go. Oh, wait, what? Oh, there is an overload provision. This is nice, though. The army is getting a little distracted, so we're getting the High Templar potentially up onto the high ground, which is going to allow for the storms to just be massive. When the units come up the ramp, they're going to be really clumped up here.
Alright, here we go.
Alrighty.
Huge storm.
Big storms. Oh my god. It's a slaughter. Oh man, Hydra's like a giant Hydra army just taking massive storms all over the main body of the army here. No more storms left though, and there will be a good defense put up here. There's a lot of value, but there's just so much money in army right now for Dragon. This should be enough though to secure a third base, I think. I think we definitely cut down on the Hydra numbers enough to be able to secure that third.
Oh, unfortunately, he leaves the Corsairs behind and they all die, so now he's not going to have any vision. That was a pretty good fight, but it was so few on the Zealot numbers that even with amazing storms, we had only storms that fight. That was about as good as you can expect a fight like that to go. He was able to get in a good position and storm the crap out of that ramp.
Alright, here comes the big attack to try and stop this third base here. Decent number of Hydralists for sure, but we do have much more in the way of Zealot protection for the High Templar this time. And the storms could be pretty nice here. A lot of the Hydras shooting uphill right now. A bit of a waste of a storm there, I think. Boa got a little too excited with the Hydras coming his way. These are just fresh Templar though, so we do have to remember that there's just an incredibly low number of storms right now. I don't even know if there is one with this army right now. It looks like, yeah, one storm.
Yeah, of course, with this high ground, it's pretty hard for like either side to take a favorable fight.
Alright, well, we do have 10 lurkers morphing in. I'm not an expert, but that sounds like a lot, Seriosity. Would you say that's a lot of lurkers, 10?
Yeah, when you make this many lurkers, you're looking to transition though. So he's basically saying, okay, I saw his third was late. I already have 4 bases. I'm gonna make lurkers and hold my high ground, and then go into a late game from this.
Ooh,
He's
the natural is really not protected though. Normally this is not really a way to attack. It's like pretty much impossible to do, but we have like one lurker here at the top of this ramp. I feel like storms could definitely bust this.
Yeah, the reason no one attacks is because minimal defense will buy enough time for the rest of the army. So basically what you want to do is do that with some of your army, make Zerg think that's your entire army, and then actually attack the real team.
Alright, well the high ground storm's certainly doing a whole lot to clear out the initial Hydra list. Now there are a lot more that were kind of hanging out, as you said, down by the that small ramp. We are out of storms pretty much here. We got one good one back in this. Oh, and he turns to do it, but gets killed before he's able to get it off. Third base now established, but not mining. No pro production out of our Protoss player. Really? Okay, here we go. Alright, pro's starting to be produced here now. But now that all the High Templar are gone, and we just have Dragoons, dude, rallying Hydras, it becomes really strong at this point. Hydra speedling.
Yeah, we do have a critical timing now gone for Protoss because he lost that fight. If you look, his upgrades are just about to finish. He's just about to get 2-2. I think if he would have waited for that, instead of just going in at that timing, he would have been much better off.
Yeah.
He also, unfortunately, didn't control that as well. Like, the storms were good, but he didn't keep his zealots behind the Dragoon army. He didn't have the patience to storm and have the Dragoons shoot. You really want your zealots to come in on the fight after a few of the lurkers have already been killed.
Well, Dragon is slowly progressing towards that disgusting late game army that he's very well known for. We already have the 5th base now coming up here. I would expect to see more macro hatcheries yet. We got a bunch of macro hatcheries coming. We also have the hive on its way. So I feel like in a minute here, if we don't have the bottom right secured very soon and start getting more sophistication in our army, I feel like Boa is going to get absolutely squashed.
Yeah,
oh man. And what a sick little timing for these Lings to just come up here and just stop this fourth again. Very nicely done.
Yeah, the Lings are so fast that they can just look how awkward it is for Protoss to get his army back here. And this kind of repositioning of your army, like if Drag were to go for Bull's high ground when his entire army's down here, it would be instantly GG. Even in a game where Drag wasn't ahead, even in a normal game. Just getting lurkers on the Protoss' high ground is pretty terrible for Protoss. I like the second lurker field. Yeah. I've never actually seen this before. Usually Zergs just position the lurkers behind the little choke, but Drag is out here. And I guess it makes sense because it's closer to his rally.
He's controlling this entire low ground, essentially. The thing is that I don't think normally you can afford to do this as a Zerg, but Dragon's economy is pretty wild right now. Oh, big storms. Oh man, and what is happening? Dragon is just falling apart right now. Now we have lurkers just fighting Dragoons. That's not what you want. Dragoon's so good versus lurkers. Man, we need the reinforcements, but they're going to be coming down this ramp. We do not have too many more storms. We got one. Oh no, we do. This guy's juiced up and ready to go. So 3 more storms in the tank here. Oh man. And Dragon's big master plan super army is just getting blown the hell up. Wow. I didn't see that going this way.
Pretty great fight for Bull, all things considered, and he does have the arc upgrade advantage here, so these... Oh! I was about to say, these units that are 2-2 are gonna eat these Lings alive, but not when it's this many Lings.
Not when they got crack.
We have another small Link counterattack going to deny this 4th base while the fight is happening up here.
And of course by small, we mean,
yeah,
like
I mean
500
40.
Lings. Oh, this isn't the move, Boa. I don't think we go in on this. Yeah, I don't know.
This is the kind of trade Zerg would like, though. You want to be doing this because if you're Zerg, your base is mined out more slowly than Protoss, so Protoss is going to be mined out of his main and net in a couple minutes here, whereas Zerg has a pretty healthy net still, and it's going to be 3 bases to the mineral only, basically. So yeah, it sucks to lose this base, but
does it
in
though?
the end,
because look at the army's at the 3rd now.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty painful. You know why Boa has been doing so well in these fights? Look at his upgrades. He's on 3-2, and these Zerglings just finished 1 melee, so they were, even with crack, they were basically just tickling the Protoss army.
Start calling Boa the payless Protoss, because you get one of his bases, you get another one for free, dude.
Alright, looks like we have these overlords here positioned for a drop, I think.
Yeah, big army heading that way. Looks like we have a decent defensive force already established here. Now, it would be nice to have more lurkers. Okay, they are morphing door. So, once the lurkers are finished up here, if they get to finish up here before the fight starts, that'll be pretty nice. But, yeah, it looks like...
Alright, this is a 3-3 Protoss, so even though Drag does have the bigger army, Bull's gonna have the way stronger army.
Yeah, this is a pretty spooky engagement. Oh no. Don't storm your own ops though. No! All the ops are gone! That's
and
terrible.
Just like that, the attack ends.
Yeah.
I do like this very cute Nidus at 12 o'clock with literally no other building. It's just a Nidus.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's the drop location. It's the tactical Nidus. Oh, look at that. That sucks. We're just losing Templar left and right here, even forcing them to morph into Archon so that way you get at least some value here. But, you know, 3rd's gone, Natural's gone, or sorry, 4th gone, 3rd is gone. We have, like, I'm sure we have very little in the way of gas left in our extractors. Yeah, it's rough. When you're starting to lose gas units and you don't have a gas to start replacing that, Protoss is going to very, very soon become Mr. Zealot Man, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, Drag's starting to catch up on the upgrades, and that's gonna make the difference because Bull's only able to win some of these fights because of that advantage.
Well, and once
He was
Plague
at
goes down too, it's like, what do you even do?
yeah, Plague. Like Plague is ridiculous. Plague ignores like Bull got all these armor upgrades. What good are they when your units have 4 HP?
Yeah.
And here we go. Drag just coming into the last mining base of Boa. This is where you can just start rallying. We have a DT killing a bunch of drones that are long distance mining 12 o'clock.
Oh, I see that, yeah. He's only got 3 kills though, look at, he needs to do more cardio, dude, he can't catch up.
Oh, he's gonna die to something.
Oh, is he though? Oh yeah, he is. Alrighty.
Yeah, this is where Drag just does. Bull's just gonna. I mean, Drag's just gonna say, "Alright, this game's over." And he's just gonna rally, send his rally to Bull, start over and over again.
I mean, I think it's just gonna happen one time. Alrighty, well, Dragon, you know, he's pretty good. Pretty good player. But yeah, dude, I mean, he just does his thing. He just doesn't panic. He plays really solidly, and then he just kills you in the late game with tons of macro. Boa, I think, definitely showed a really good game on match point here. I think that was a really strong showing. I think he showed a much stronger game than the game number 1. But overall, man, Dragon's Zerg is just, there's so much crap all the time. You're just going up against walls of Zerg. Yeah, see, Zoe knows what's up. No one can beat Dragon. He's the best in the world. Exactly. Exactly. Zoe.
Alright. Is she actually saying that?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Because she did actually beat him in Ghostful League last season in BSL.
Ah.
Alright, so Drag advances first out of the group. Not really a surprise. He did win the last season and showed he was just a stronger player.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we'll be right back. I just need to take a quick break, if you wouldn't mind. But please stick around, and we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Titanes del Ring's North American Starleague number 3. Sponsored by Afreeca, of course. Really appreciate you guys sticking around, and thank you so much for showing up today. Ooh, that was a... Yeah. Anyways, we're going to be heading on into the next game for you guys in just a minute here. Hope you guys have been having a lot of fun with us so far at the start of the weekend. But, yeah. I think sounds like Seriosity is ready to go as well, so we're going to hop right on into it. Let's go.
It's going to be an interesting match.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Today I'm proud to bring you the Battle of the Underscore Boys. In the bottom, or in the top left-hand corner, rather. Spawning as the Yellow Terran, we have KMD, aka Red Duck.
And in the bottom right corner, we have the Orange Terran. It's him, aka Surfer for Life. Of course, I think it's no surprise that these two are facing off in the losers bracket. Boa and Dragon are, if not just better players, more well-known players. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup between these two. Surfer for Life, I saw in the chat before, Sirius was like, I might play Protoss, I might play Terran.
I think this will be pretty interesting. I think one of the main strengths that, of course, Surfer for Life has is that he plays very aggressive, very unpredictable, non-meta strategies. I think that KMD is generally less solid, let's say, than like our favorites for the groups and stuff like that. And so I think he may have more vulnerabilities to a player like Surfer than, you know, like Dragon would.
Yeah. If you've never played someone like Surfer, you're gonna be caught off guard usually. Surfer for Life with the old cat to distract opponent trick. It's gonna work on him. It's not gonna work on him. We have Surfer for Life. He's gonna go into a gasless expand. Oh, actually, this is Red Duck. Sorry, with the colors. So he did this against Dragon TVP, and now he's gonna do it in a TVT. Isn't it great when you're turn and you can just do the same thing every build, every game, regardless of matchup?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I always think it's so funny when Terran players complain about random, like they're not the absolute best race against random in the entire game.
KMD did scout the middle, so he knows. He at least has a notion. He might have seen the qualifiers and seen Surfer for Life's games, but middle scout, and now he's gonna get to Surfer's base. See 2 Marines, not normal, and nothing else.
Dude, what's funny though is that Surfer is like the kind of player who will go bio in this matchup potentially versus you. You know, he'll do like something really absurd like that. So I feel like when you're in a situation like KMD and you see like weird stuff, alarm bells start going off. It could just be a normal build, and you could just psych yourself out.
And it is actually just gonna be a normal build.
Oh my! Oh, okay.
Did you see it? I don't think he got in range.
It was like right here. Yeah, I think it's barely not in range.
Yeah, seeing the command center would help a lot, but either way, with Surfer for Life just playing normal, and Red Duck having a slight build order advantage with the Gaslix expand versus a factory expand, which Surfer isn't going to be able to do much against, to be honest.
What are you talking about? He's got 2 Marines, man. They're coming. They're coming for that ass.
There's a couple things you could do when you go Gaslix. I mean, when you go for factory expand against Gaslix.
He's trying to sneak the Vulture in, dude.
If he can slip it in,
He's
it would actually
send the Marines in to aggro the bunker, and then the Vulture's gonna go in. Yeah, I told you! Here we go! Oh, but the SCVs! That was a sick block.
Yeah.
That was a really fast reaction time from KMD, man. He immediately knew what was going on and blocked it.
Alright, so Surfer for Life transferring to his 9. Now we have a pretty normal game where Red Duck has a slightly better economy, but Surfer has the better tech. And upon seeing that first, what's it called? That Vulture, he knows that Surfer didn't go for a fast tank. And if your opponent's not making tanks, you can get away with just producing Vultures. You don't need tanks of your own to defend from fast siege.
Yeah, but what you might want is something to stop this fucking Wraith that's coming out from Surfer.
He has an armory at the very top right corner of his base. And one Wraith is pretty... I mean, he's going to use this mostly for scouting. But a Wraith alone is pretty weak in this matchup.
Yeah. How many shots does it take? Like 8 or something? Or
8 shots of a Wraith, and that's if they don't repair, because the SCV repair actually...
Does it out repair the Wraith damage?
Yeah, it out yeah.
That's so funny, dude. Oh god.
Alright, we have Red Duck going for a fast speed Vulture follow-up. And this tank actually did win the fight, but it couldn't keep these vultures from just running into his net. Doesn't have a wall here in place, so now he's gonna start losing SCVs.
The Wraith is going completely uncontested, though. I mean, he does have 2 kills, but yeah, it's not going to kill anywhere near as fast as these vultures will.
Yeah, the lives are gonna start coming out now, and now this Wraith is gonna be completely useless. Vultures killed a ton of SCVs. If you look at the work count, which was pretty even. How many does this Wraith have? Oh no, the Wraith is gonna... Okay, I thought it was gonna die to that bunker, but looks like it'll just run away as it sees one unit that can shoot up. Only the one Wraith is pretty curious. No follow-up, didn't get a add-on to get fast.
Wait, what just blew up?
He canceled an eBay. That was he was
okay.
gonna use it to wall, but wasn't able to complete it in time. This is a pretty interesting opening. Pretty tankless TVT. Not many times you could say you've seen that.
Alright, well, here's a bunch of Goliaths. Pretty good unit. Not good versus mines, though.
No, that's untrue. Goliath is like the best unit against mines, because against mines, what you don't want are units that shoot a projectile like
yeah, well, they're hit scan, but they're not good versus, like, I mean, these minefields are not gonna, they don't have enough to one-shot them, does he?
No.
Oh my god.
But with one scan, these vultures, you pretty comfortably clear these mines, and there's no siege yet. There's only one tank. There's literally nothing to hold off this many Goliaths. Pretty sick timing from Red Duck.
Yeah, Surfer is trying to go for like a base trade or something, but I mean, how do you base trade when the units are here and yours have to go across the map still?
Yeah, and with this one bunker, hilariously, one bunker and SCVs can hold this off.
Oh my gosh, Surfer just getting crushed. You know, there were a couple of moments there where it looked like Surfer might be able to do some big damage, but just unfortunate for him, nothing seemed to go his way that time.
Yeah, he had the ideas, he had the plays, like the 2 Marines and the 1 Wraith, trying to get in there, trying to get something done, but... Well, good reaction time from Red Duck.
Yeah, I think this came down to Surfer moving out with his main army. I think if he just left it back at home and let the Wraith go across, you know, obviously then the vultures aren't going to raid his natural mineral line. He would have been much better off.
Yeah, or if he was able to complete that wall, he got the eBay up, but unfortunately no other building to block. Because even with no units, all he had to do was wait for his tank to get back. Vultures can't kill buildings quickly enough.
I have to say though, man, I always root for Surfer for life, man. I just want him to win, man, so bad. He's a really good dude too. Like, he's a really nice guy. Except when he thinks he could beat me up.
When he wins, the games are hilarious or incredible. So I mean, I kind of want to see that too.
Yeah, it just makes for fun, like a fun spectator, you know, experience. Alrighty, guys. In the top center, spawning as the blue Terran, we have Red Duck.
And in the bottom right corner, as the orange Terran, we have It's Him. Now, this was his map pick. He picked Sylphid as his choice. Pretty good map for, like, in all matchups, really. But on this map, especially because every third you could take has a different feature to it. So you have the mineral-only third, where it's a mineral-only, not that useful in TVT. You have the middle green base, which has a gas, but it has reduced mineral count and only 5 patches. And then you have the farther, but much better and healthier third, which is easier to defend, really, because you only have the 1 ramp. So we're going to see what bases these players take. So in these positions, I think it's actually favorable for Surfer It's Life, because his options of thirds are better. He's either going to take the mineral only or that high ground base, whereas Red Duck can't really take 3 o'clock.
Alrighty, man. So what do you think? You think Surfer's gonna go for another just ridiculous build that he, like, you know, pull one out? Now he's behind. I feel like he's kind of one of those players that makes decisions like in that are potentially more predictable. Like, I feel like if you beat him once, he's more likely to cheese, not less likely.
That's pretty good read, I'd say. I think he just plays how he wants, like whatever comes to him in the game. But yeah, I mean, most players, if you get beat or crushed game 1, you're gonna switch up your strategy. In game 2, you're not gonna play normal unless you're pretty confident in your skills. You're saying, "Oh, okay, that was just one game. I can take this guy out in a normal game." You usually just change it up for game 2.
Yeah, I feel like the one player that you can really rely on to make intelligent build order choices and try to out-meta his opponent, though, is like Tai2. Like, you'll see him 5-pool someone, and then they'll be like, no way is it a 5-pool again. And he'll just do it again because he knows his opponent is thinking he's not going to get 5-pooled 2 games in a row. And so, I don't know, I like, I think the intelligent build order selection like that, and really trying to outthink your opponent does make a pretty big difference in this game. And a lot of people don't seem to really put too much credence into it.
Yeah, we see Surfer with the later scout and Red Duck with the pretty safe scout timing. 1 Marine from each player, not going to be able to hold off this SCV, so both players get a full scout.
We have essentially build order parity currently. Things looking just real normal right now.
The only difference is that Surfer has a lot more gas. He has 2 SCVs on gas, so I don't know if Red Duck noticed that, but that's a tell usually. Like, if you have more than 1 SCV on gas, you're not gonna, like,
Yeah,
what do you need that gas for? Right.
So this looks like he may be going for a multi-factory, like, vulture attack then?
Yeah, this looks like a vulture attack. It could also be a tank attack, like just a 2-fac with tanks. It could be either one. Vulture is the better play because it's less all in. And here we have the 2 Marines gonna meet 3 Marines.
But one of them isn't looking, dude. They win the fight and leave. Are you kidding me? He got a kill. They just dipped. Look, he saved the 2nd Marine with 4 HP. What a god, dude. Oh, it's so funny.
Alright, so he's actually really mixing it up. He's getting... So you were correct on your read, basically, because he's getting 2 factories, he's getting a bunch of vultures with speed, and he's making a starport all on one base.
Seems legit.
It's pretty interesting. So I think he's going to go for some kind of vulture attack, combined with
then a
Wraiths,
drop?
then maybe a drop, yeah?
Yeah.
No, just straight into drop, okay. He's really got to go now, though, before a tank comes out. Looks like he was able to deny any further scouting, because Red Duck is just playing like this is a normal game.
Alright, 4 Marines. It's time to move. Tank is just about to be out. Let's go! Oh my god, he's waiting for 4 vultures.
And speed. Speed is almost done, and Red Duck actually sees all of this. Let's see how he reacts. So leading with the Marines, because they're useless at this point. Alright, so this is a correct play, just running by.
And this is doing good damage, man.
Yeah, this was actually a really good depot, though, because now these vultures can't escape. Very good depot placed behind the mineral lines to limit movement. Like, he did this way before anything was happening. Maybe he just does this every game, but look how effective it came out to be. And now the drop's gonna come. This was the kind of play where you would have liked to see vultures rally to the natural while the army was pulled back into the main.
Alright, Red Duck feeling confident as fuck, just walking across the map even though he knows the vultures are up on the high ground.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. If Red Duck doesn't pull back, he's gonna eat these mines.
This is so funny because we're dropping. There's nothing at the natural to even get past with the drop.
The vultures laying mines. really got to target well.
Ooh, we get a Goliath, not bad. Red Duck kind of being indecisive here. Was gonna pull back. Yeah, all right. He is resuming the retreat.
Replay Pargus Bardock.
Oh, god damn it! We gotta get a graphic to cover that out.
Yeah.
Wait, there's still vultures in the main?
Yeah, he's careful because he doesn't know where the mines are, and 2 Goliaths aren't enough to shoot down. Like a Goliath is pretty good against mines, but if you don't know where the mines are, you gotta be careful.
How many do you need? Like 5? Just to instant?
No. Just 2. They shoot really fast and they 2-shot mines. But alright, here we go. Alright, so that actually worked out wonderfully.
We're still doing it. The Goliaths are still looking for mines, but we're just dropping anyways. This is kind of like a little too much in my opinion at this point. Oh my god, dude. He's up 5 workers so far. There's 6 now. But the thing is that when you do this, like how much army do we have? No, he's producing tanks at home. Dude, Surfer's like doing pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of build has to do damage. So it was 2 factories in a starport before expanding, but it did damage, and it did a lot of damage. A lot of it was because Red Duck just way too confidently moved out. But very, like, this kind of play where I was expecting, this is the kind of way I was expecting Surfer to play all tournament long. These kinds of builds. And you can tell he's comfortable playing this. Like, he's been able to keep his SCV production up. He's up 10 workers while harassing. Like, this is very strong play from Surfer. He has tanks back at home, so any kind of... Oh, he actually lifted his natural command center. That's painful.
Oh my god.
Now these SCVs aren't mining.
Dude, Surfer is just killing so much shit in the main again.
Oh, unfortunately, he doesn't have any mines in front of these tanks.
Well, Surfer has once again raided the main. He's lost his 3rd that was in progress, but I mean, he's still up workers. It doesn't really need
I want you to look at something. Look at Surfer's net.
Yeah, the 1 tank.
No, below that, all these SCVs not mining.
What the? Oh, dude, they just started. What?
Alright, so what happened was he lifted his command center accidentally, and then, alright, so it's pretty annoying when that happens, because then your SCVs just go straight into your main and don't let you land. So he sent them all to stop.
Oh, what? Did you just see that mine?
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, so he didn't resume after he landed it? That's terrible.
Yeah, and it was like almost a minute and a half of that. But like you said, the work count, he did a lot of harass. He's been actually non-stop producing SCVs, so...
Wow. I can't believe we just got 2 tanks for a mine, though. Mine good unit, dude.
Yeah, now he's actually making a ton of factories, so he's gonna catch up on the tank count.
Five fact to 2. Is that good?
That's good. We do have Red Duck, who scanned and saw nothing in the form of anti-air, making 2 starports worth of rapes. And he saw that Surfer for Life didn't have Academy, so Surfer has no way to detect this.
Do you remember? It was during one of the remastered like launch events or something. It was like a game, Kawaii Rice versus, I can't remember who his opponent was, but it was like 13 Starport Wraith versus like 13 Starport Wraith.
It was Sero.
Yeah.
Circuit Breaker.
It was so dumb, dude.
Alright, so Red Dog actually leaving units behind this time. He's trying to get caught off guard a 4th time. I love the command center placement from Surfer. I'm pretty sure this is going to take that high ground 3rd, but look where he placed it.
Yeah, nice and sneaky.
And here come the race, and what do we have to defend this? Nothing.
2 Goliaths.
Oh, here we go. 2 Goliaths, sorry.
That should be enough.
Yeah, these don't have cloak yet, and even if they did, oh, here's another drop into the main.
Yeah. Look at the worker count, dude. Surfer is just running KMD like around. I actually can't believe that we haven't just like put like a barracks over here or an eBay or something just to spot. Or like a turret outside the wall or something. Anything.
Alright, here are the Wraiths. They actually
Finally
kill this Disruptor. And the command center is floating over to the third. So, very good position for Surfer. Has larger work count, has a faster third base. Let's look at the tank count, has more tanks. Everything's in his favor at this point.
Yeah. The Wraiths really are gonna have to be the difference maker now. Despite seeing a million Wraiths, we haven't made any turrets in the main apparently. So that's problematic. And we only have 3 Goliaths. But 3 Goliaths still beats this amount of Wraiths, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
Like how many Wraiths does it take to beat 1 Goliath?
I think basically 4, but you wouldn't even engage because you'd lose. Because you lose 1 Wraith at least, and then a Wraith costs a lot more than a Goliath. So even with 4 Wraiths, you'd run away from a Goliath from an efficiency standpoint.
That's so ridiculous.
I mean, you think about it, a Wraith costs what? The same as a tank, so you'd ask yourself, why would you ever make Wraiths? Why not just make more tanks? And it's because if you're making Wraiths, you're forcing your opponent to make Goliaths, which they also don't want to make. Because Goliaths are terrible against tanks.
Ooh, the transfer though. Oh, that's big. Because now we find out about the third.
Yeah, of course, there are 2 Goliaths here, so these Wraiths can't do anything good. This kind of contain shouldn't be happening, though, because look at the tank count. We have triple tanks, and somehow Tim is not going to be able to defend his third.
We need Goliaths. That's I think the one major problem. So we don't have enough Goliaths to allow our tanks to bully the army.
Right. So this is what I was talking about. Why tank Wraith is a better unit comp than tank Goliath. It's because even though Goliaths are way better than Wraiths and cost less, they're way worse against tanks. And that's really what it comes down to. Who has more tanks and who positions them better.
Look at this minefield at the third here. Or duck. It's like a massive mine. It's like 8. It's like 8 vultures worth of mines over here for no reason.
We have a drop coming into Tim's main, completely catching him off guard.
And it's a massive drop.
Now these Wraiths are harassing these tanks yet again.
Goliath's out in front, tanking all of the siege tank damage. While these tanks get into place. Wow. You know, honestly, that was pretty well defended by Surfer for the most part.
Yeah, he did lose a ton of SCVs, and now he's
behind. Yeah.
Yeah, but in that time, Red Duck took the opportunity to set up his tanks a little bit further up, so that this contain is actually more effective. He does still have the way less, like he has way fewer tanks. But positioning them like this is pretty annoying for Surfer Life.
Ooh, Surfer using these SCVs. Oh, we're doing it! We're busting the contain. Surfer thinks he took a little too much damage, maybe? So, oh my god, look at this dude doing the fucking lambada in the back there.
Alright, so we broke out of the contain, but at what cost?
Yeah, that was really inefficient. I felt like that could have gone a lot better, but unfortunately the architecture here of Sylphid, like this right wall over here, really screwed up the pathing for the tanks.
And we still have the larger tank count, but we had way more tanks. Like literally 30 seconds ago we had like 14 tanks, we're down to 7, 8. I feel like Red Duck should just pick up these 2 tanks and save them. He already netted an advantage with his contain, these tanks aren't really doing much at this point. I did really like the drop, and now Surfer for Life is always going to have to be careful about drops. Like, once drops are out, they're always a threat.
Oh man, speaking of, we have 5 tanks and 2 Goliaths going for another big drop in the main. Surfer does have the barracks floating there, but I mean, getting from outside of your natural expansion all the way back into your main is so difficult on this map. It's such a huge roundabout path. This is fatal right here. What can he even do?
Right, so he's gonna have to wait for a round of units to come out and then use these SCVs to tank some of the tank fire. What SCVs? They're all dead.
Yeah. The last few are retreating as we speak. Man, Surfer's only hope at this point is just to go. But even then, I don't know how well this is going to do. Now, there's another drop coming, so there's only 2 Goliaths here at the natural expansion. But it just goes base trade. We don't have anything to shoot down, you know, floating buildings.
Alright, Red Duck has to use his SCVs to defend this attack while dropping on Surfer's life in his main. Looks like neither player is gonna have control. Like, Surfer for Life has denied this main from this natural from mining, and in the meantime, he can't actually defend his main. His units are coming out of the factories and getting shot.
Yeah, but I mean, Surfer only has tanks, and we do have 2 starports here, so all we do is produce race, and then Surfer's attack is done.
There we have Surfer trying to retake control of his main. Only 3 tanks left right now. Make that 2. Of course, the most painful part of this is that Surfer lost his ability to mine gas, so he can't actually make any more gas units, and his natural isn't mining gas. During all this action, he didn't realize. And here we have the one at the front, slowly killing 1 tank.
Wow, the mine plays. Wow, Surfer's cleaned up the attack in his main, just barely, it looks like. And the tanks at at Red Duck's main are just slowly getting poked down by the Wraith. But the thing is, Duck has got such a bank. He can produce, you know, 2 more CCs, get his gas mining back up like he's supposed to, and then just roll him over.
I wonder when Surfer's gonna notice his nat gas hasn't been on. He just did. He critically got +2 weapons. I never even noticed that. Where's his facility? There it is. This means that his 2 tanks will 2-shot enemy tanks now, whereas Red Duck's tanks will need 3 tank shots to kill tanks. It's a pretty key turning point in TBT, because now your tanks are basically 50% more effective, needing one shot less to kill an enemy tank.
Now Surfer is pretty far behind in the army count currently, just because the tank count is just way in Red Duck's favor. But as you said, the upgrade advantage is pretty good. Red Duck did lose his natural expansion, you know, so I mean, overall, I don't think this is a terrible spot for Surfer still.
He's getting some more vulture harassing on this base. He does need to do something. Like, I feel like,
I mean, he's ahead in workers again. He needs a 3rd really bad.
Yeah. The thing is, where's he gonna pick the 3rd? He's really gotta set up tanks so that if he takes this base, he can't just lose it to any kind of attack. But he doesn't have the tank count. He only has 2 tanks. He's making more now, but he's been on such little gas this entire time that he hasn't been able to build it up. Red Duck also traded much more efficiently with his drops.
Oh my gosh, dude. Surfer for Life games are always wild. He does have a nice defense to the drops now. We have mines in place, and we're setting up turrets as well.
He has the spawning eBay as well, which will help these turrets shoot a little bit earlier. Really need to see that third command center. There it is at the green base in the middle. It's really all about, can he get enough tanks? It looks like with 3 add-ons he's been able to produce a healthy amount. This is a really, really low economy game. I feel like Red Duck should have taken his nat back at some point. There's enough minerals there, and critically another gas.
Yeah, but he is tearing ahead. The supply difference is already pretty massive at this point. I think most of that was just Red Duck burning through his bank early on. Whereas
yeah, we have these
Surfer had to
drop chips.
reestablish.
Look at these drop chips trying to be sneaky, and they jump right on mine.
That was funny, man. I think we got 1 Goliath for that mine, but still. Alright, Surfer looking to respond to that. Unfortunately for him, there's way too much stuff there.
I like this.
Situation.
Look at this troop. Like, there's 2 Goliaths and a tank at the mineral, only denying Surfer from taking it. And this tank is actually a monster and has 16 kills.
Jesus. Master Sergeant tank.
Oh, I forget. Units get like titles if they...
Yeah. They get kills.
Right, we have more command centers going up for Red Duck. He's just expanding and macroing. Knows he's in a favorable position. After all the damage those drops did, it feels like Surfer is in a position where he has to do something. It's just gonna fall apart further behind if he doesn't attack.
There we go. Big attack coming in now from Red Duck. Looking to push his advantage a little bit. It's going to cancel that 4th pretty quickly here. Hopefully we get a cancel on it so it doesn't die. Come on! Oh, it died.
Once tanks are set up, it's pretty hard to attack into them.
Ooh! Like but Surfer going for a big counter here at the mineral, or at the fake high ground over here. There's no tanks, and Surfer has brought some of his own.
He's gotta get in range of that command center so he can siege instantly and start
Here we go.
trading well.
Tanks coming from behind though for Red Duck.
Oh, Surfer shouldn't press. He really should have just stayed just close enough so he can siege the command center and no further.
He does still have the upgrade advantage, though. Red Duck does not have +2 weapons. And this is perfectly positioned. Oh no. The dropships though.
I mean, Surfer is playing well, he just doesn't have enough.
Yeah. He got a good amount of SCV kills there at least. You know, I mean, it wasn't terrible. Yeah, it's
Surfer
just
at the
unfortunate.
point really just needed to catch up, basically, because he can trade well in these fights, but how many fights does he have left in him?
Yeah. That's a really good point, actually. I mean, I feel like Surfer at this point in the game has actually been outplaying KMD as far as the the moves that he's making and stuff like that. But KMD is just playing with a stacked deck right now, man. He's got all the advantages.
There we go, a fight where Surfer didn't siege up and actually won, but now the further he goes into his tank line, the less efficiently he's going to trade.
Well, you say that. He gets 5 tanks for a tank and a Goliath. That's pretty efficient to me.
But he's really got to go. He's got to go. He's got to use his rally to reinforce this, or the same thing's going to happen where he's going to get in position, but they get dropped on.
The SCVs are going to make the difference here, I think. Oh, get the tank. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the SCV's
Unfortunately,
doing
it's
work,
slow to
man.
reinforce this. Yeah, look at this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and this is a B rank worker? I don't think so.
What other worker can join a fight 26 minutes into the game and win?
Yeah. It's so stupid how strong they are, dude.
Alright, again, we have the same push.
Dude, it's working though. Look at the supply. He's climbing. We're getting tons of damage done here over and over and over again. Oh, get the siege! He gets the siege in time! Oh man, and there goes the CC. Wow. Now this base in the left is isolated.
I think if he can kill that base. But he really should have just added one more expansion during all this. I know he couldn't afford it, but that's what he needed. If he had the mineral only, I mean, there's this tank here that just kept killing SCVs that were sent there, and I guess never noticed. But if he had just one more base during all this, he'd be all the way back in this game. His natural mind out, he's gonna flow over the command center. Finally gonna kill this Master Sergeant tank. If he could somehow stabilize this and then kill top left from mining.
Yeah, look at we've got no mining at either main or natural at this point. This is going to be a huge revitalization in his ability to continue this fight, though. I actually can't believe he's come back from what was essentially a completely game-losing devastation in his main.
Of course, Red Duck does still have the larger army and bigger economy, so he's just gonna be the aggressor, not always defending and getting caught off guard. He's gonna put his army in the middle of the map, trying to cut off Surfer's units from being able to be reinforced.
Surfer's troop movements have just been really good, though. Like, he's just avoiding.
Alright, so here we go. Here are these tanks. They're gonna retreat and they're gonna be met.
Oh no, Surfer's going for it! Ah, he's trying to save his tanks, not worth. Oh my gosh, look at this base that KMD's taking.
It's actually really good because, I mean, he's just cutting off Surfer from more bases this entire game.
Surfer does have a pretty huge army here, though. Too bad they're all coming down from the fake high ground. Because they... Oh my gosh, he does not want to... Oh, this is rough.
And these tanks are already with +3, so they're going to be two-shelling these tanks. And this just shows like how effective already having siege tanks are. And, like, you know what he needed? He needed some of those B tier units to come in.
Alrighty, well, Wraiths are pretty good.
Yeah, this kind of Wraith search, this is what you make to... Like, if you're not getting anything done on the ground, which usually happens once tanks are positioned and upgraded, can't really break tanks with tanks. You make a little tech switch, and then you can start winning some fights here and there.
Man. Dude, Surfer for Life is fighting like a champ, but the longer this goes on... Yeah, the Wraiths are just getting all the value now. They're just gonna run around finding little areas that they can fight. I actually can't believe they didn't just go to the 6 o'clock to check it out real quick.
He's checking all the bases. Red Duck's economy now with a new base. It's gonna kick in. Surfer is gonna be on one base yet again. Not really much he can do once, like, if it was just a ground army, he can move around it, but once they're Wraiths...
Yeah, they're not really an outplayable unit.
That being said, this was a pretty interesting game overall. He was able to come back from like those devastating drops.
Yeah. I honestly, both their players have played really well. Red Duck has been responding very well too. You know, I mean, obviously like there were so many points where Surfer was like right about to come back into the game, and KMD shut him down.
Let's not forget this opened up as a 2-factory, 1-star port before expansion game, and Surfer was able to get a lot done. What was the turning point? Was it... I guess it was the contain, right? Yeah, Surfer got contained and then dropped simultaneously.
Yeah. Wow. Alright, Surfer desperately dropping units onto this base over here to try to take it out. Now, there's tons of units here. Oh no, we're flying... Are you kidding me? We're flying dropships directly into Wraiths and somehow they're winning. That's ridiculous! What is happening here at this right side base?
And we have a good attempt from Surfer trying to deny the space from mining. He actually does do it. And you saw one Goliath just destroy how many Wraiths.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Look at this base, man.
Alright, the B tier units come in and they're gonna allow these tanks to set up.
Alrighty, KMD with some large army movement now in the center of the map, looking like he's going to position, try to take out this base once again. Ooh! Oh, I forgot. Terrans are invincible to mines. Oh, there's nothing in these dropships, buddy.
I thought it was 2 tanks coming in to save the day, but he's just picking up the Goliaths. Why?
Save the SCVs.
Alright, that'll do it.
Alrighty. Some good manner GG from these guys. Definitely a great game. Fantastic play by both of them. But that is KMD coming out victorious after quite a crazy game. Especially in the opener when we had Surfer really just doing crazy damage with his Vulture Harass. I could have sworn he would have had it, but unfortunately for him, it looks like KMD able to weather the storm a little bit and gets himself a really nice advantage. Closes that game out pretty well at the end of the game there. But man,
Yep.
That was probably the craziest game we casted today.
Yeah. Always good. I didn't know him before this that well, but it's enjoyable to watch Surfer play. I like the way he plays. And now, of course, that leaves us with one final match for the final spot in this group. And it's going to be between the 2 brothers.
Boa versus KMD. This is going to be interesting, man.
So, before the tournament, and I didn't know who KMD was, right? I was looking at his match list. I'm like, alright, let's see what kind of level he is. He's been playing the qualifiers. He hadn't qualified yet. Wait, first, let's introduce players in the bottom left corner. We have Red Duck, the White Terran. And in the bottom right corner, we have the Blue Protoss Bull White. Now, these 2 are brothers, and before the tournament, I knew who Bull was, because I remember before Remastered, he was a pretty strong player on Fish. Like, it was rumored he got B rank. Can't confirm, but really high level player, strong player. And then KMD, I didn't know who he was, so I looked at their match list and I saw they had played like 17 games in a row. I'm like, oh, they know each other. I didn't know they were brothers then, though. So, I mean, it was destiny. They had to meet in this group, and now one has to eliminate the other.
This is so sad, man. I gotta say, though, after looking at that match history, who wins more?
Alright, so I looked, and it was Bull winning every time, but KMD was able to get a couple wins in there. It was like, I don't know. Sometimes they will play off race versus each other, so it just seems like they play a lot, and they know how the other plays. But I think Bull is a pretty heavy favorite, I would say.
I think it's really interesting when players who go up against each other a lot play in like a tournament situation, because the level of mind gaming that goes into all that is crazy.
So I feel like they know each other probably better than any two set of players, right? They're brothers, play each other for fun, and this is probably the first time they had to play each other, and it's not for fun. It's a tournament, and not only that, it's an elimination match. So, just pretty interesting. The kind of like this is probably new for both of them. Alright, so we have an interesting build from Ball right off the bat. He's going Zealot, then Cybernetics Core. Not normal. This is the kind of stuff you do when you want to be really aggressive with your Zealots. And we have Red Duck responding with just normal play. And he has a SimCity set up so that the Marines can slide in between these buildings and the Zealots have to go all around.
Alrighty, here comes the first Zealot now, making his way across the map here.
Alright, so the timing of the Zealot is not actually super important, because the real timing is when you get that one Zealot and that one Dragoon.
Yeah.
That's the real threat. One Zealot can be microed around, right, with the SimCity, but the timing of the Zealot Dragoon hits just when Terran wants to take his net. And if there's no bunker, as I said before, 3 Marines, even 4 Marines will struggle against one Zealot, one Dragoon.
Alrighty. Zealot coming in here, gonna find himself a little ghetto bunker, as they say. It's important to keep the Zealot alive, though. I think a lot of players at the lower level, they throw him away too often.
Alright, so here we go. This bunker, if it gets up, Terran's fine. If it does not, he's gonna struggle a little bit. Just forcing the Vulture out before add-on is pretty good.
Alright, we got one hit on it. Ooh. Oh wow, we are mauling the Marines.
Alright, so this is what I was talking about. One Zealot, one Dragoon timing. Kills all the Marines. Terran doesn't want to make this many Marines. And
oh wow,
having
that
lost
Vulture
them all,
wasn't
he has
shooting.
this. He loses Vulture too. Like, this is already like a very good attack for us. Anything after this is bonus.
Alright, second Goon coming in now. And we're continuing to only fight this with Marine and Vulture. Like, this is horrible. We're just gonna keep rallying, right? I mean, that's gotta be the plan.
Yeah, he's just gonna make more Dragoons, and Dragoons trade really well if they're microed.
Alright, there it is. There's range. All of a sudden we have a bunker under siege. We still don't have a tank on the way. Like, the add-on has been delayed a ton. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm not sure what's stopping us from going back in.
No, at this point, like, the damage is done. And you don't want to trade away these Dragoons. Like, even if they can get some more harassing, Terran already has the bunker. The Dragoons will get peppered as they slide by. And SCVs are pretty strong, so only 2 Dragoons, not really worth the run by. If you can snipe the tank, that's the only time you'll see the Dragoons try to poke in here. Of course, 3 Dragoons forces that SCV that was building the command center to come off just to repair the bunker, so because if his bunker goes down, he does, like, he's in a lot of trouble. Right, and the attack is not over here, because this one tank, it has to be very careful. 3 Dragoons will
two-shot it.
4 will two-shot it. 4 Dragoons will two-shot it. 3 Dragoons will 3-shot it. So it's a little bit of a dance here.
All right. This is so scary, man. Okay. Looks like Boa looks like he's gonna just back off for now.
Sorry about that. Someone was knocking out the door. Boa again going for the support bay at the front. You do this because it's harder to scout with scanners. Protosses aren't gonna use scans on the net. They want to see what kind of tech is up. And looks like Red Duck knows, right? He knows because he's laying mines in his main. These are anti-drop mines. No other reason to make these.
Yeah, and I think that's where one of the things that where you're very familiar with your opponent. You know, he's gotta at least be suspecting this, or he wouldn't be doing this. And I mean, Bo has already shown that he has a propensity to go for this early Reaver.
It's getting speed as well, and this is actually a pretty key point. So when you make the shuttle, you want to have the shuttle at the same place your support bay is at. Why? Because both things reveal the same, right? If you see an early shuttle, you know it's Reaver. If you see the support bay, you know it's Reaver. So just having both at the same location will mean that Terran will have to scan one specific location to confirm what you're up to. And let's see. Red Duck is still only on the one factory. This is actually pretty key because as Terran, you never want to stop producing tanks, but you also need to make lives against this kind of thing.
All right, Reaver and Zealous loaded up here. About to be the moment of truth, and KMD's got you know, a lot of units in his main here, just chilling, just waiting.
Yeah, he knows it's coming. I really like Bo's play though. He's gonna follow us up with looks like Arbiters.
All right, the Obs is in the main here, so it is gonna be able to spot. Wow, look at that!
Oh man, that's Scarab. That was basically a melee Scarab that missed.
Yeah, just chilled. What's funny is it ended up actually detonating on the command center just only 10 years after the SCV left. I don't get it though, man. If I was a Protoss player, I'd just be up in arms about how terrible Scarab AI is.
I'll teach you a couple things about Scarabs. So like if let's say a Scarab shoots and your unit runs away from the Scarab, the maximum damage it'll do is half. It'll only do half damage because
it's just hitting with splash, right?
Yeah, it'll just hit with half the splash because the Scarab will detonate and the unit will move away from that area instantly because it's running away, right? And the way this happens, certain units will take less damage. So like a tank will take half damage, but a Ling, because it's much faster, can take even a quarter damage. And you have scenarios where a Scarab detonates on a Ling and it doesn't die. It's actually a pretty huge like micro technique against shuttles. Like let's say you have one tank and a couple Marines and a Reaver drops in your main. Every time the Reaver shoots your tank, you want to micro your tank back a little bit so it only takes half damage.
Man, that's so wild. Scarab's
Right,
so weird because it's a projectile, but it has to take ground pathing. Like, what a crazy unit. And what's funny is they originally when Remaster was getting made, they were asking people if they want to fix Scarab AI, and everyone was like, "No, fuck that. That would be insane." And I agree, man. Could you imagine if Scarab AI was fixed and they just were perfect?
Oh,
oh my god! Wow, the insta GG. Oh man, that was nuts.
That was disgusting. So that's what actually happens when Scarabs detonate. They end games.
Could you imagine if every Scarab shot was like just totally valid? Like, how many more games would just be totally over the instant the shuttle arrives?
It's interesting because like there's such variance between every Scarab shot. Sometimes you'll think like, oh, this one definitely will hit, and then it just gets stuck on a different worker than the one you targeted, and it explodes but doesn't detonate. It just does.
Yeah. There's so many different parts of the Scarab that's RNG. It's hilarious. Alrighty, guys. Well, in the top right-hand corner, spawning as the Teal Protoss, we have up one game so far in the series, Boa.
And in the bottom right corner, we have his brother, as the Purple Terran Red Duck.
Alrighty. So, do we know who the older of the two is? Who the older brother is?
No, but I think I'll just say it's Bo. I don't know. I get that notion.
Because he's better?
Wait, can you imagine if you're the older brother and you're worse than your brother at something? You probably just stop doing that one thing.
I know. I've considered killing myself so many times because my little brother's more successful than me. I just look at it.
Yeah, he's
What
better
can I
at
do?
life, so why live it?
Yeah, exactly. I might as well quit. Oh, it's terrible. But yeah, dude, like especially like obviously when you're adults it's a bit different, but like when you were kids, man, if you were the older brother and your little brother could beat you at like anything, that's like the absolute worst, man. There's no way.
Absolutely. So let's just say Bo is the better, the older brother.
We gotta hope so for KMD's sake.
And so it looks like KMD picked Polypoid. So I think this is going to be a pretty popular map this tournament. This and Fighting Spirit. Alright, so we have the barracks at the net. That means he's going to go for the the gasless expand. He did that against Dragon. And we have Ball going for the 12 Nexus.
Have you ever watched the barracks be constructed? It just doesn't make any fucking sense. What is this shit? Sarah, can you explain any of this?
Alright, I like seeing when it changes the animation. It just props up.
Yeah, instantly. But look at this. Where do the people go? This is where you fucking... This is where you teach Marines. But look, it's got like a weird like water tank in the middle, and the bottom's a bunch of spiral bullshit. There's no room for people in there, dude.
I think the barracks just poops them out one by one. I don't
Yeah,
really
maybe it's like a
understand.
person factory. It's like limbs and like body parts go in there and they get assembled into a Marine. And that's actually horrifying when you think about it.
So this looks like the worst of the scenarios for Red Duck. He's gonna face a 12 next, and he's gonna scout it last. And Boa gets in here, sees that it's a 1 Rex. This is basically the best scenario for your 12 next. It means you're not gonna get bunker rush, because if they bunker rush, there's gonna be any vulture support. It's going 2 gate, gonna have zealots, 2 gate worth of zealots. Will easily be able to beat these Marines. And because he actually doesn't see it, he's gonna play like it's a normal game. He's not gonna do anything. And when you go Raxlix expand against 12 next, there's actually nothing you can do at this point. You can't punish the 12 next, and you're just behind economically.
Alright, so you heard it here, folks. Guys, game is over. Let's go ahead and end this mission real quick.
I mean, it's pretty painful because, right, Protoss won 12 next, but he's still going to be able to pressure your bunker.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? Where's my economic advantage? And now he sees the bad news. He's like, oh, snap.
Aw, snap. It's okay, though. We got the purple Terran. That's like an extra 150 MMR worth of skill right now.
I wonder why he never picked red as Red Duck. I feel like you gotta represent your color.
True. What if he was Red Duck? He picked red and he joined Clan Red, because then he'd be Red Duck.
That's pretty interesting. So when the brackets were being filled out, the guy who does the Liquipedia thought he was part of Clan Red. But if he was, he'd be Red Duck.
Yeah. We should call Red Warrior and get him on there. He's born.
What if
he's
Ball
born
White
for it.
isn't in white, and he joined white? Same thing.
But well, white.
And like we're gonna have Dragoons coming up. Range is gonna be done shortly. No tanks are gonna be out, so it's like you're facing a regular build. Oh wait, this Dragoon went way too far forward. Just that Protoss has way more economy, and you're still being forced to repair.
No. He's saying, what if he wasn't in white, and then he joined white, so it'd be Bull white.
I like the SCB rescout. Oh, can he actually get in? Nope. Because when you're behind, you want to cut corners. So one
You
way
need
to
information,
safely is to get scout.
Ah! Ah! He's dead. Yeah. I think they pretty much let everybody into white now, though, right? I mean, they've got Kicks, they got Telecom, now Boa.
And so this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have the tank, but this tank has to be very careful. You can't lose your first tank going Rax expand. And now we have this bunker under fire. Can't lose this bunker, just instantly die.
Under fire, because the fire's on top.
Hey!
Got him! This is a little interesting. We have brought the 5th SCV here. There we go. Siege tank, all good. And we'll look at that. We get the Dragoon worth. All right, this is Mucho Tankos.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna follow this up with a timing attack. He's gonna go with 5 tanks, and then rally vultures. Something similar to what he did against Drag. The difference this game is that it's not cross, and Boa actually went for a 12 next, so Boa's economy is a lot stronger. But it's gonna be 5 tanks and not 3, and with the shorter rush distance, maybe we can do something.
We hope so, because if it doesn't do something, we're in a pretty bad spot at that point.
Yeah, Boa actually went for a 3rd. He's actually getting Reavers and Templar tech, so this is pretty greedy. Reavers, Templar tech, and a 3rd. So this is a moment of weakness against a timing attack. Red Duck's going now. Like, perfect opportunity. He does need to figure out if he's going to drop more factories.
Ooh.
Or
Probe and Ob see this instantly. So we should be seeing some nice positioning here from the Protoss.
Yeah, he should position some of these Dragoons on the high ground so that they take less shots. Or maybe he'll just position them all and then come in from the high ground.
Yeah, I mean, he has perfect, information right now. He's got the vision. Here we go. We have double Zealot drop here. We have some Unsiege to make sure that doesn't work out. Vulture's going to need to start being rallied.
Oh, they're tease.
Oh, do we have a scan? Oh, we do. Okay. Wow.
We do, but we're not using it.
Oh my god! 2 tanks go down for nothing!
It's actually pretty huge because you don't want to make tanks to reinforce this push. You want to reinforce it with only vultures.
Oh my gosh. Dude, these DTs are doing mega work.
It's actually disgusting because not only do they kill your units, but then when you scan them and they're on
Oh,
top
the
of your units,
mine drags! It's all over! Holy shit!
and there's a Reaver.
Oh my god! Dude, that was a Winmore Reaver, bro. Like, you don't even need that, dude. What a sick game.
That goes to show you the power of 12 next.
Goes to show you the power of being your older brother. Dude, even with 100 more APM, Red Duck couldn't win.
And with that, we have our first 2 players in the round of 8.
Very nice. Now, Red Duck going to potentially take over his brother's spot after he murders him in the middle of the night.
So we have Dragon and Boa White in the round of 8. And then, of course, tomorrow we have Group B, same time.
Well, I have to say, I think that our first group of the group stage has held like no surprises for the most part. The 2 people that made it out, I think, were the folks that we expected to make it out. But we will be seeing you guys again same time tomorrow, as Seriosity said. That'll be 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EST, whatever. And we'll be seeing group number 2. Let's see. I think I have that graphic. I didn't set it up correctly. Or I didn't set up an overlay, but let's just pull it up real quick, guys. 1 second.
Yeah, of course, I'm in that group, so I'm not going to be able to cast. I mean, I probably could, but what would be the point? I know the results of all the games if I do. So I'll look to see who can join you.
Alrighty. So here is our Super Ghetto overlay here. Coming in here real quick. So that will be TT1 Tide 2 Seriosity and I Got Sunshine playing tomorrow, guys. So be sure to tune in for that. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Alright, thanks for watching, and thanks for casting, Doc.
Si te gustó este video, no olvides darle like. Y si aún eres nuevo y aún no te suscribes, te invitamos a hacerlo y a darle clic a la campanita. Recuerda que todos los días viernes estaremos subiendo nuevas guías y nuevo material, todo en relación con Starcraft remasterizado. Hasta la próxima, amigos.